Beautiful sunny day in the city of Toronto, wherever you're watching across the country. So glad you're joining us on this Feel Good Friday. Have you seen my phone? I just feel so
Oh, I see what you're
naked
doing. You're preparing yourself and seeing for the next segment.
phone. Where
So
is it? Because it almost seems impossible these days for teens or grown adults to be without their screens. Yeah, so from social media to gaming, teen screen use all-time high.
Our good friend and digital wellness expert, Lisa Chang, is back with the Health Tech Up series and here to check up on our teens and their screens. Might be the most important segment any parents watching today. It is so good to see you, my beautiful friend.
Nice to meet
You're
you.
going to love this one.
I just have to say, legends in your own right.
Where?
Both of you.
So
Where's the legends?
I got to tell you, Dina, you coming back? Listen, I think that's going to make everybody's 2025 highlight reel.
Yes,
and
for
Tim,
sure.
you're a legend in your own right, my friend. Okay,
I'm just trying to keep up.
I got to say, I hear nothing but amazing things. Congratulations to you both.
He's a sweetheart. Lisa,
Now,
we got to get started because you've been on this show many times and you've already addressed checking up on adults, seniors. Now it's time to address the teens when it comes to tech with staggering stats.
Yes, exactly. So we got to talk about teens and screens, and why is that? They are the age group that are spending the majority of their day, 5 to 7 hours actually, tied to their screens. And I'm not talking about for homework. I'm talking about using social media and consuming mindless content. When it comes to social media, they are spending 87% of their time on apps like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, of course, and the biggest one, the most popular one, is, of course, Snapchat.
Yeah.
But we have to get into a more serious conversation as parents, how to have a more proactive approach with our teens, teaching them about the mental, the emotional, the physical effects that it's having on them, instead of a passive role. Now, we have to understand that when they are online, it's basically like sending them in the outside world. Even though they might be home, it's not that they're using their screens in the home and they're suddenly safe. We really have to treat it as though we've let them outside into the wide world and have that protection over them.
And it's just getting like habits, like those tech habits. You need to get those habits and like future-proofing.
It's 5 to 7 hours on average, but anything over 3 hours a day, they face the risk of negative mental, emotional, and physical health risks like depression, anxiety, fear from cyberbullying, body image, poor sleep quality, cognitive risks.
Yeah, we've talked a lot on the show about brain rot. So we're going to keep diving into that as the year goes along, but it's really about the solution. So we got to get into that as parents.
So let's get into some tips then about like those healthy, balanced tech habits.
So the first thing is establish clear boundaries and limits. We got to develop what's called digital curfews or no phone zones. Would you know that only 1 in 4 Canadian families are having dinner at the table? Wow. And stats have proven time and time again that just having a meal with your kids can develop amazing communication, great bonding between the family. So we got to be able to put the phones away when we're having a meal. Stats are also showing our teens are suffering with their sleep because they're scrolling all night long. Maybe start having conversations around not bringing the phone into the bedroom and why that is the case. Yeah. For us adults, listen, we can talk to our kids all day long, but the reality is we have to set the example. And that might not be, mindlessly scrolling through social media. Maybe we as adults are having a hard time putting the work phone down, putting the laptop down. We have to show our kids that there's a time and a place to do those things. And of course, open communication, right? It comes down to that. We have to develop a safe zone where our teens can talk to us about how they're feeling, what they're experiencing on social media, things like cyberbullying, or maybe they've seen some content that they don't necessarily feel good about. We really need to open the gates of communication and talk to them about how we're feeling as well. And I'm going to suggest going through either a monthly or a quarterly digital audit on our algorithms to make sure what we're seeing is good for us.
Speaking of, you talk about curating social media feeds so that it's not so negative.
Yeah, do you guys do that?
I like to only follow positive people.
Yeah,
I do.
Me too.
Because there's a lot of things that I need to get better at.
Right.
And we go back to I'm guilty as charged at the dinner table. It's sitting there. It doesn't need to be sitting
We got to put it away.
You know what I mean? Because my kids aren't teens yet. They're getting there.
Me too.
You know what I mean? So then it's the conversation of when do they get the phone and the digital currency. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they're going to be watching you and how you're using it and the way that they can use it.
Exactly. So again, we have to curate our feeds, making sure that they're seeing and experiencing positive content. But also, we have to start developing really good digital literacy habits as well. Let them know what is real versus fake, what is an AI-curated image versus what's not. They don't need to necessarily keep up with the Joneses either. We need to have those conversations over and over and over again.
There's lots of built-in like apps in there and parental controls because a lot of so they have their iPads and then you have to ask to get your parents' approval if they want to download something.
That's
so
right.
So there's a lot of that stuff that's already built in there.
Exactly. So when it comes to Snapchat, I want to talk about Snapchat for a second because 90% of our teens are using Snapchat very, very regularly. Now, to your point, Tim, there's a lot of settings within the app that us parents don't know exist in order to keep our teens safe. So they're going to get pop-up warnings. What is that? When a teen receives a message from someone they don't already share a mutual friend with, the app is going to warn them. Maybe that's not somebody they want to communicate with. They're going to get enhanced friending protection. So again, unless you have a mutual friend, Snap will prevent the delivery of a friend request. They're going to warn you about suspicious accounts. So if a teen receives a chat from somebody that's been reported or blocked before or in an area where it's not in their vicinity, they're going to get a warning from the app to say, hey, you probably don't want to engage with this person. When it comes to SnapMap, I really do want to tell parents out there that the app will put this setting on default. It's off, okay? So as parents, we want to make sure that their location is only shared with us as parents or somebody that we are allowing. We want to continuously monitor that over and over again. Snapchat also has a family center available to parents, and I'm going to recommend that every parent get super, super familiar with this. This is a better way within the app to understand what your teens are doing on the app, who they're connected with, see their friends, see who they're messaging while not seeing the message itself. We want to maintain some privacy for them. See their settings. We always want to make sure that they are protected and they are staying private. We have the ability to restrict sensitive content as well. And we have the ability as parents to see our teens' location. So we really want to get familiar, my friends, my parents, with the apps and the settings that are out there and have continuous conversations around this stuff with our teens.
Which you're going to do. Priceless information, Lisa.
Yeah.
We've run out of time. For more information, we're going to actually see you in April to talk about staying proactive with your health using
Yes,
tech.
absolutely.
But also you say kids, make sure they get outside, make sure they have their hobbies, face-to-face interactions, art, music, writing. For more, it's Lisa Chang on IG, Instagram, or you can find more at the Health Tech Up. Thank you
Got
so
it.
much,
Thanks, Lisa.
Lisa. We could talk
Thanks,
to you all day.